If you chance, Camillo, to visit Bohemia on like occasion, whereon my services are now on foot, you shall see, as I have said, great difference betwixt our Bohemia and your Sicilia.
I think this coming summer the King of Sicilia means to pay Bohemia the visitation which he justly owes him.
Wherein our entertainment shall shame us. Justified in our loves, for indeed we shall.
I beseech you.
Verily, I speak it in the freedom of my knowledge. We cannot with such magnificence in so rare, I know not what to say. We will give you sleepy drinks that your senses, unintelligent of our insufficience, may, though they cannot praise us, as little accuse us.
You pay a great deal too dear for what's given freely.
Believe me, I speak as my understanding instructs me, and as mine honesty puts it to utterance.
Sicilia cannot show himself over too kind to Bohemia. They were trained together in their childhoods, and there rooted betwixt them then such an affection which cannot choose but branch now, since their more mature dignities and royal necessities made separation of their society. Their encounters, though not personal, hath been royally attorneyed with interchange of gifts, letters, loving embassies, that they have seemed to be together, though absent, shook hands over a vast and embraced, as it were, from the ends of opposed winds. The heavens continue their loves.
I think there's not in the world either malice or matter to alter it. You have an unspeakable comfort of your young Prince MAMILLIUS. It is a gentleman of the greatest promise that ever came into my note.
I very well agree with you in the hopes of him. He is a gallant child, one that indeed physics the subject, makes old hearts fresh. They that went on crutches ere he was born desire yet their life to see him a man.
Would they else be content to die?
Yes, if there were no other excuse why they should desire to live.
If the king had no son, they would desire to live on crutches till he had one.
9 changes of the watery star hath been the shepherd's note since we have left our throne without a burden. Time, as long again, would be filled up, my brother, with our thanks, and yet we should for perpetuity go hence in debt. And therefore, like a cipher, yet standing in rich place, I multiply with one we thank you, many thousands more that go before it.
Stay your thanks a while, and pay them when you part.
Sir, that's tomorrow. I am questioned by my fears of what may chance or breed upon our absence. May blow no sneaping winds at home to make us say this is put forth too truly. Besides, I have stayed to tire your royalty.
We are tougher, brother, than you can put us to it.
No longer stay.
1 7 night longer.
Very sooth. Tomorrow.
We'll part the time between us then, and in that I'll no gainsaying.
Press me not, beseech you so. There is no tongue that moves, none in the world, so soon as yours could win me. So it should now, were there necessity in your request, although 'twere needful I denied it. My affairs do even drag me homeward, which to hinder were in your love a whip to me, my stay to you a charge and trouble, to save both. Farewell, our brother.
Tongue-tied, our queen. Speak you.
I had thought, sir, to have held my peace until you had drawn oaths from him not to stay. You, sir, charge him too coldly. Tell him you are sure all in Bohemia is well. The satisfaction the bygone day proclaimed. Say this to him. He's beat from his best world.
Well said, Hermione.
To tell he longs to see his son were strong. But let him say so then, and let him go. But let him swear so, and he shall not stay. We'll whack him hence with distaffs. Yet of your royal presence I'll adventure to borrow of a week. When at Bohemia you take my lord, I'll give him my commission to let him there a month behind the jest prefixed for parting. Yet good deeds, Leontes. I love thee, not a jar of the clock behind. What lady she her lord? You'll stay?
Oh, madam.
Nay, but you will.
I may not, verily.
Verily? You put me off with limber vows, but I, though you would seek to ensphere the stars with oaths, should yet say, Sir, no going. Verily, you shall not go. A lady's verily is as potent as a lord's. Will you go yet? Force me to keep you as a prisoner, not like a guest, so you shall pay your fees when you depart and save your thanks? How say you? My prisoner or my guest? By your dread, verily, one of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam. To be your prisoner should import offending, which is for me less easy to commit than you to punish.
Not your jailer, then, but your kind hostess. Come. I'll question you of my lord's tricks and yours when you were boys.
Oh,
Pretty lordings, then.
We were, fair queen. Two lads that thought there was no more behind but such a day tomorrow as today, and to be boy eternal.
Was not my lord the verier wag of the two?
We were as twin lambs that did frisk in the sun and bleat the one at the other.
Yeah.
What we changed was innocence for innocence. We knew not the doctrine of ill-doing, nor dreamed that any did. Had we pursued that life, and our weak spirits had never been higher reared with stronger blood, we should have answered heaven boldly, not guilty.
not guilty.
The imposition cleared, heredity ours.
By this we gather you have tripped since.
Oh, my most sacred lady, temptations have since been born to us, for in those unfledged days was my wife a girl, and your precious self had not crossed the eyes of my young playfellow.
Grace to boot. Of this make no conclusion, lest you say your queen and I are devils. Yet go on. The offenses we have made, you will answer. If you first sinned with us, and that with us you did continue fault, and that you slipped not with any but us.
Oh, is he won yet?
He'll stay, my lord.
At my request he would not. Hermione, my dearest, thou never spoke to better purpose.
Never.
Never but once.
What have I twice said well? One was tofore I prithee tell me. Crams with praise and makes as fat as tame things, one good deed dying tongueless, slaughters 1,000 waiting upon that. Our praises are our wages. You may rise with one soft kiss 1,000 furlongs ere we spur with heat an acre. But to the goal, my last good deed was to entreat this stay. What was my first? It has an elder sister, or I mistake you. Oh, I would her name were Grace. But once before I spoke to the purpose, when? Nay, let me have it, I long.
Why, that was when 3 crabbed months had soured themselves to death, ere I could make thee open thy white hand and clap thyself my love. Then thou didst utter, I am yours forever.
'Tis grace indeed. Why, lo you now I have spoke to the purpose twice. The one forever earned a royal husband, the other for some while a friend.
Too hot. Too hot. To mingle friendship is mingling bloods. I have tremor cordis on me. My heart dances, but not for joy, not joy. Oh, this entertainment may a free face put on, derive a liberty from heartiness, from bounty, fertile bosom, and well become the agent. Oh, Tine, I grant, but to be paddling palms and pinching fingers, as now they are, and making practiced smiles, as in a looking glass. And then to sigh, as 'twere the mort of the deer. Oh, that is entertainment my bosom likes not, nor my brows. Oh, MAMILLIUS! Art thou my boy?
Aye, my good lord.
Oh, effects! Why, that's my bycock. What? Hast thou smudged thy nose? Oh, they say it is a copy out of mine. Oh, come, captain. We must be neat. Not cleanly, but neat. Oh, and yet the steer, the heifer, and the calf are all called neat, still virginalizing upon his palm. Oh, how now, you wanton calf? Art thou my calf?
Yes, if you will, my lord.
Oh, thou wast once a rough patch in the shoots that I have to be full like me. Yet they say we are almost as like as eggs. Well, women say so, that will say anything. But they are false, as overdyed blacks as wind, as waters, false as dice are to be wished by one that fixes no bourne twixt his and mine. Yet were it true to say this boy were like me. Oh, come, Sir Page, look on me with your welcome eye. Sweet villain, or dearest, my Colin, can thy dam, may it be? Oh, affection, thy intention stabs the center. Thou dost make possible things not so held, communicatest with dreams. How can this be? With what's unreal thou coactive art, and fellowest nothing. Then 'tis very credent thou mayest co-join with something, and thou dost, and that beyond commission, and I find it, and that the infection of my brains and the hardening of my brows.
What means Sicilia?
Something seems unsettled.
How, my lord?
Oh, what cheer? What is it with you, best brother?
You look as if you held a brow of much distraction. Are you moved, my lord?
No, in good earnest. No, how sometimes nature will betray its folly. Oh, its tenderness, and make itself a pastime to harder bosoms. Oh, looking on the lines of my boy's face. Oh, methoughts I did recoil 23 years, and saw myself unbreeched. In my green velvet coat, my dagger muzzled, lest it should bite its master, and so prove, as ornaments oft do, too dangerous. How like, methought, I was to this colonel. Oh, this squash, this gentleman. Mine honest friend, will you take eggs for money?
No, my lord, I'll fight.
You will! Well, happy man be his dole, huh? My brother, are you so fond of your young prince as we do seem to be of ours?
If at home, sir, he's all my exercise, my mirth, my matter, now my sworn friend, and then mine enemy, my parasite, my soldier, statesman all. He makes a July's day short as December, and with his varying childness cures in me thoughts that would thick my blood.
So stands this squire, officed with me. Oh, we too will walk, my lord, and leave you to your graver steps. Hermione, how thou lovest us, show us in our brothers welcome. Let what is dear in Sicily be cheap next to thyself, and my young rover, he's a parent to my heart.
If you would seek us, we are yours in the garden. I'll attend you there.
To your own bents dispose you. You'll be found. Be you beneath the sky. I am angling now, though you perceive me not how I give line. Go to, go to. Oh, how she holds up the neb, the bill to him, and arms her with the boldness of a wife to her allowing husband. Oh, poof, gone already. Inch thick, knee deep, or head and ears a forked one. Go play, boy. Go play, boy. Thy mother plays, and I play too, but so disgraced a part whose issue will hiss me to my grave. Contempt and clamor will be my knell. Go! Play, boy, go! There have been, or I am much deceived, cuckolds ere now, and many a man there is, even at this present now, while I speak this, holds his wife by the arm that little thinks she has been sluiced in his absence, and his pond fished by his next neighbor, by Sir Smile, his neighbor. Nay, there's comfort in it, whilst other men have gates, and those gates opened as mine against their will. Should all despair that have revolted wives, the 10th of mankind would hang themselves. Physic for it there is none. It is a body planet that will strike where 'tis predominant, and 'tis powerful, think it from east, west, north, and south. Be it concluded, no barricado for a belly. Know it! It will let in and out the enemy with bag and baggage. Many thousand on it have the disease and feel it not. Oh, how now, boy?
I am like you, they say.
Well, that's some comfort. What, Camillo there?
Aye, my good lord.
Go play, MAMILLIUS. Thou art an honest man. Camillo, this great sir will yet stay longer.
Ah, you had much ado to make his anchor hold. When you cast out, it still came home.
Just note it.
He would not stay at your petitions, made his business more material.
Didst perceive it? Oh, they're here with me already, whispering, rounding. Sicilia is so forth. 'Tis foregone when I shall gust at last. How came it, Camillo, that he did stay?
At the Queen's good entreaty.
At the Queen's be it. Oh, good should be pertinent, but so it is not. Was this taken by any understanding pate but thine? For thy conceit is soaking, will draw it in more than the common blocks. Not noted is it, but of the finer natures, by some severals of headpiece extraordinary. Oh, lower messes, perchance, are to this business purblind of, say, business, my lord. I think most understand Bohemia stays here longer.
Business, my lord? I think most understand Bohemia stays here longer.
Huh?
Stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious entreaty.
Satisfy the entreaties of your mistress. Satisfy. Oh, let that suffice. No, I have trusted thee, Camillo, with all the nearest things to my heart as well. My chamber councils, wherein priest-like thou hast cleansed my bosom, I from thee departed, thy penitent reformed. But we have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seems so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
Abide upon it. Thou art not honest, or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, which boxes honesty behind, restraining from course required, or else thou must be counted a servant grafted in my serious trust, and therein negligent, or else a fool that seest a game played home, the rich stake drawn, and takest all for thy jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish, and fearful. In every one of these, no man is free. But that his negligence, his folly, fear among the infinite doings of the world sometimes puts forth. In your affairs, my lord, if ever I were willful negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence. Not weighing well the end, if ever fearful to do a thing, but
Ha! Not? Had you not seen Camillo, but that's passed out. You have, or your eyeglass is thicker than a cuckold's horn, or heard, for to a vision so apparent, rumor cannot be mute, or thought, for cogitation resides not in that man that does think. My wife is slippery. Oh. If thou wilt confess, or else be impudently negative to have nor eyes, nor ears, nor thought, then say, my wife's a hobby horse, deserves a name as rank as any flax wench that puts it to before her troth plot. Say it and justify it.
I would not be a stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so without my present vengeance taken. True, my heart, you never spoke what did become you less than this, which is to reiterate were sin as deep as that, though true.
Whispering nothing, is leaning cheek to cheek, is meeting noses, kissing with inside lip, stopping the career of laughter with a sigh, a note infallible of breaking honesty, horsing foot on foot, skulking in corners, wishing clocks more swift, hours, minutes, noon, midnight, and all eyes blind with the pin and web but theirs only that would be unseen, be wicked. Is this nothing? Why, then the world and all that's in it is nothing. The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia nothing. My wife is nothing, nor nothing have these nothings, if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and betimes for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be, 'tis true.
No, my lord.
It is! You lie! You lie. I say thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee but a gross lout, a mindless slave, or else a hovering temporizer that canst with thine eyes at once see good and evil, inclining to them both. Were not my wife's liver infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like her medal, hanging about his neck. Bohemia, who, if I had servants true about me that bear eyes to see alike mine own honor as their profits, their own particular thrifts, they would do that which should undo more doing. I, and thou, his cupbearer, whom I from meaner form have benched and reared to worship, who mayest see plainly as earth, see as heaven sees earth, and earth sees heaven, how I am galled, mightest despise a cup, to give mine enemy a lasting wink, which draught to me were cordial.
Sir, my lord, I could do this, and that with no rash potion, but with a lingering dram that should not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress, so sovereignly being no honorable. I have loved thee.
Make that thy question and go rot. Dost thou think I am so muddy, so unsettled, to appoint myself in this vexation, sully the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted in goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps, gives scandal to the blood of the prince, my son, who I do think is mine, and love is mine, without right moving to it, would I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, sir. I do, and will fetch off Bohemia for it. But provided that when he's removed, your highness will take your queen as yours at first, even for your son's sake, and thereby for sealing the injury of tongues and courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Thou dost advise me. Even so as mine own course have set down. I'll give no blemish to her honor. None.
My lord, go then. And with a countenance as clear as friendship wears at feasts, keep with Bohemia and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have some wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the one half of my heart. Do it not, and thou splittest thine own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly, as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady. But for me, what case stand I in? I must be the poisoner of good Polixenes, and my ground to do it is the obedience to a master, one who, in rebellion with himself, will have all that, or his so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'd not do it. But since nor brass, nor stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake this court. To do it or no is certain to me a breakneck. Happy star! Reign now! Ah, here comes Bohemia.
This is strange. Methinks my favor here begins to warp, not speak. Good day, Camillo.
Ah, hail, most royal sir.
What is the news in the court?
None rare, my lord.
The king hath on him such a countenance, as if he had lost some province and a region, loved as he loved himself. Even now I met him with customary compliment when he, wafting his eyes to the contrary and falling a lip of much contempt, speeds from me, and so leaves me to consider what is breeding that changes thus his manners.
I dare not know, my lord.
How dare not? Do not.
Hmm.
Do you know and dare not? Be intelligent with me. 'Tis thereabouts for you to yourself. What you do know, you must, and cannot say you dare not. Good Camillo, your changed complexions are to me a mirror, which shows me mine changed too. For I must be a party in this alteration, finding myself thus altered with it.
There is a sickness which puts us, some of us, in distemper, but I cannot name the disease, and it is caught of you that yet are well.
How caught of me? Make me not sighted like the Basculets. I have looked on thousands who have sped the better, but my regard, but killed none so. Camillo, as you are certainly a gentleman, thereto clerk-like experienced, which no less adorns our gentry than our parents' noble names, in whose success we are gentle, I beseech you, if you know aught which doth behoove my knowledge, thereof to be informed, imprison it not in ignorant concealment.
I may not answer.
A sickness caught of me, yet I well. I must be answered. Dost thou hear, Camillo? I conjure thee by all the parts of man which honor doth acknowledge, whereof the least is not this suit of mine, that thou declare what indecency thou dost guess of harm is creeping toward me. How far off How near? Which way to be prevented, if it to be? If not, how best to bear it?
Sir, I will tell you, since I am charged in honor and by him that I think honorable, therefore mark my counsel. Which must be even as swiftly followed as I mean to utter it. Or both yourself and me cry lost, and so good night.
On, good Camillo.
I am appointed to murder you.
By whom, Camillo?
By the king.
For what?
He thinks, nay, with all confidence he swears, as he had seemed or been an instrument to vice you to it, that you have touched his queen forbiddenly.
Oh, then my best blood turned to an infected jelly, and my name be yoked with his that did betray the best. Turn this my freshest reputation to a savor that may strike the dullest nostril where I arrive, and my approach be shunned. Nay, hated too, worse than the greatest infection that ever was heard or read.
Swear his thought over by each particular star in heaven, and by all their influences, you may as well forbid the sea for to obey the moon, or by oath remove or counsel shake the fabric of his folly, whose foundation is piled upon his faith, and will continue the standing of his body.
How should this grow?
I know not, but I am sure 'tis safer to avoid what's grown than question how 'tis born. If therefore you dare trust my honesty, that lies enclosed in this trunk, which you shall bear along in pond away tonight. Your followers I will whisper to the business, and will by twos and threes at several posterns clear them o' the city. For myself, I'll put my fortunes to your service, which are here by this discovery lost. But be not uncertain, for by the honor of my parents, I have uttered truth, which if you seek to prove, I dare not stand by. Nor shall you be safer than one condemned by the king's own mouth. Thereon, his execution sworn.
I do believe thee. I saw his heart in his face. Give me my hand, give me thy hand, be pilot to me, and thy places shall still neighbor mine. My ships are ready, and my people did expect my hence departure 2 days ago. This jealousy is for a precious creature. As she's rare, must it be great. As his person's mighty, must it be violent. As he doth conceive, he is dishonored by a man which ever professed to him. Why, his revenges must in that be made more bitter. Fear overshades me. Good expedition, be my friend, and comfort the gracious queen, part of his theme, but nothing of his ill-taken suspicion. Come, Camillo, I will respect thee as a father if thou bearest my life off hence. Let us avoid.
It is mine authority to command, the keys of all the posterns. Please, your highness, take the urgent hour. Come, sir, away.
Take the boy to you. He so troubles me. 'Tis past enduring.
Come, my gracious lord.
Come, my gracious lord. Shall I be your playfellow?
No, I'll none of you.
Why, my sweet lord?
You'll kiss me hard and speak to me as if I were a baby still. I love you better.
And what so, my lord?
Not for because your brows are blacker, yet black brows, they say, become some women best, so that there be not too much hair there, but in a semicircle or a half moon made with a pen.
Who taught this?
I learned it out of women's faces. Pray now, what color are your eyebrows?
Blue, my lord.
Nay, that's a mock. I have seen a lady's nose that has been blue, but not her eyebrows.
Hark ye, the queen your mother rounds apace. We shall present our services to a fine new prince one of these days, and then you'd wanton with us if we would have you.
She is spread of late into a goodly bulk. Good time encounter her.
What wisdom stirs amongst you? Come, sir, now, I am for you again. Pray, sit by us, and tell us a tale.
Merry or sad shall it be?
As merry as you will.
A sad tale's best for winter. I have one of sprites and goblins.
Let's have that, good sir. Come on, sit down. Come on, and do your best to fright me with your sprites. You're powerful at it.
There was a man.
Nay, come sit down, then on.
Dwelt by a churchyard. I will tell it softly. Yond crickets shall not hear it.
Come on, then, and give to me in mine ear.
Was he met there, his train, Camillo with him? His train, was he met there, lord?
Behind the tuft of pines I met him. Never saw I men scour so on their way. I eyed them even to their ships.
How blessed am I in my just censure, in my true opinion. Alack for lesser knowledge, how accursed in being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink, depart, and yet partake no venom, for his knowledge is not infected. But if one present the abhorred ingredient to his eye make known how he hath drunk, he cracks his gorge, his sides with violent hefts. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camillo was his help in this, his pander. There is a plot against my life, my crown. All's true that is mistrusted. That false villain whom I employed was pre-employed by him. He has discovered my design, and I remain a pinched thing. Yea, a very trick for them to play it will. How came the posterns so easily open?
By his great authority, which oft hath no less prevailed than so on your command.
I know all too well. Give me the boy. I'm glad you did not nurse him, though he does bear some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this, sport?
Bear the boy hence. He shall not come about her. Away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with. Oh, for 'tis Polixenes had made thee swell thus.
But I'd say he had not, and I'll be sworn you would believe my saying. How'd you lean to the nayward?
You, my lords, look on her, mark her well. Be but about to say, she is a goodly lady, and the justice of your hearts were there to add, oh, 'tis pity she's not honest, honorable. Praise her, but for this her without door form, which on my faith deserves high speech, and straight the shrug, the hum, or ha, these petty brands that calumny doth use. I am out. That mercy does, for calumny will sear virtue itself. These shrugs, these hums and ha's, when you have said she's goodly, come between, ere you can say she's honest. But be it known from him that has most cause to grieve it, it should be she's an adulteress.
Should a villain say so, the most replenished villain in the world, he were as much more villain. You, my lord, do but mistake.
You have mistook my lady Polixenes for Leontes. Oh, thou thing, which I'll not call a creature of thy place, lest barbarism, making me the precedent, should a like language use to all degrees, and mannerly distinguishment leave out betwixt the prince and beggar. I have said she's an adulteress. I have said with whom, more, she's a traitor, and Camillo is a fettery with her, and one that knows what she should shame to know herself, but with her most vile principle, that she's a bed swerver. even as bad as those that vulgars give boldest titles, aye, and privy to this their late escape.
No, by my life, privy to none of this. How will this grieve you when you shall come to clearer knowledge that you thus have published me? Gentle, my lord, you scarce can write me throughly than to say you did mistake.
No, if I mistake in those foundations which I build upon, the center is not big enough to bear a schoolboy's top. Away with her to prison! He who shall speak for her is afar off guilty, but he that speaks.
There's some ill planet reigns. I must be patient till the heavens to look with an aspect more favorable. Good my lords, I am not prone to weeping as our sex commonly are, the want of which vain dew perchance shall dry your pities. But I have that honorable grief lodged here which burns worse than tears drown. Beseech you all, my lords, with thoughts so qualified as your charity shall best instruct you, measure me, and so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Whose that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women may be with me, for you see my plight requires it. Do not weep, good fools, there is no cause. When you shall know your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears as I come out. This action I now go on is for my bitter grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry. Now I trust I shall. My women, come. You have leave.
Go, do our bidding, hence.
Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence, in which three great ones suffer. Yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down, and will do it, sir. Please you to accept it. The queen is spotless in the eyes of heaven and to you. I mean in this which you accuse her.
If it proves she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodge my wife. I'll go in couples with her. Then when I feel and see her, no further trust her. For every inch of woman in the world, aye, every dram of woman's flesh is false if she be.
Hold your peaces.
Good, my lord.
It is for you we speak, not for ourselves. You are abused, and by some putter on that will be damned for it. Would I knew the villain, I would land damn him. Be she honor flawed. I have 3 daughters. The eldest is 11, the second and the third 9, and some 5. If this proves true, they'll pay for it. By mine honor, I'll geld them all. 14 they shall not see to bring false generations. They are co-heirs, and I had rather glib myself than they should not produce fair issue.
Cease, no more. You smell this business with a sense as cold as a dead man's nose. But I do see it and feel it as you feel doing thus, and see with all the instruments that feel.
If it be so, we need no grave to bury honesty. There's not a grain of it in the face to sweeten of the whole dungy earth.
What lack I credit?
I had rather you did lack than I, my lord, upon this ground, and more it would content me to have her honor true than your disposition. Be blamed for it you might.
Why, what need we commune you with this, but rather follow our forceful instigation? Our prerogative calls not your counsels, but our natural goodness imparts this, which if you, or stupefied, or seeming so in skill, cannot or will not relish a truth like us, inform yourselves we need no more of your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on it is all properly ours.
And I wish, my liege, you had only in your silent judgment tried it, without more overture.
Well, how could that be? Either thou art most ignorant by age, or thou art born a fool. Camillo's flight added to their familiarity, which was as gross as ever touched conjecture, but lacked sight only, not for approbation, but only seeing. All other circumstances made up to the deed doth push on this proceeding, yet for a greater confirmation, for in an act of this importance, 'twere most piteous to be wild, I have dispatched in post to sacred Delphos, to Apollo's temple. Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know of stuffed sufficiency, now from the oracle they will bring all, whose spiritual counsels shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
Although I am satisfied, and need no more than what I know, yet shall the oracle give rest to the minds of others, such as he whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. So have we thought it good from our free person she should be confined, lest that the treachery of the two fled hence be left her to perform. Come, follow us. We are to speak in public, for this business shall raise us all.
To laughter, I take it, if the good truth were known.
The keeper of the prison called to him. Let him have knowledge who I am. No court in Europe is too good for thee. What dost thou then in prison? Now, good sir, you know me, do you not?
For a worthy lady and one who much I honor.
Pray you then conduct me to the queen.
I may not, madam. To the contrary, I have express commandment.
Here's the due to lock up honesty and honor from the excess of gentle visitors. Is it lawful, pray you, to see her woman, any of them? Emilia?
So please you, madam, to put apart these, your attendants, I shall bring Emilia forth.
I pray now, call her, withdraw yourselves.
And madam, I must be present at your conference.
Well, be it so, prithee. Here's such ado to make no stain a stain, as passes coloring. Dear gentlewoman, how fares our gracious lady?
As well as one so great and so forlorn may hold together, on her frights and griefs, which never tender lady hath borne greater. She is something before her time delivered.
A boy?
A daughter, and a goodly babe, lusty and like to live. The queen receives much comfort and says, "Oh, my poor prisoner, I am as innocent as you."
I dare be sworn, these dangerous, unsafe loons, as the king beshrew them. He must be told on, and he shall. The office becomes a woman best. I'll take it upon me, if I prove honey-mouthed, let my tongue blister, and never to my red-looked anger be the trumpet any more. Pray you, Emilia, contend my best audience to the queen. If she dares trust me with her little babe, I'll show it to the king and undertake to be her advocate to the loudest. We do not know how he may soften at the sight of the child. The silence often of pure innocence persuades when speaking fails.
Most worthy madam, your honor and your goodness is so evident that your free undertaking cannot miss a thriving issue. There is no lady living so meet for this great errand. Please your ladyship to visit the next room. I'll presently acquaint the queen of your most noble offer, who but today hammered of this design, durst not tempt a minister of honor, lest she should be denied.
Tell her, Emilia, I'll use that tongue I have. If wit flow from it as boldness from my bosom, let not be doubted I shall do good.
Now do you be blessed for it. I'll to the queen. Please you, come something nearer.
Madam, If it please the queen to send the babe, I know not what I shall incur to pass it, having no warrant.
You need not fear it, sir. This child was prisoner to the womb and is by law, in process of great nature thence, freed and enfranchised. Not a party to the anger of the king, nor guilty of, if any be, the trespass of the queen.
I do believe it.
Do not fear. Upon my honor, I will stand betwixt you and danger.
Let nor night nor day no rest. It is but weakness to bear the matter thus, mere weakness. If the cause were not in being, part of the cause. She, the adulteress, for the harlot king, is quite beyond mine arm, out of the blank and level of my brain, plot-proof. But she, I can hook to me. Say that she were gone, given to the fire. A moiety of my rest might come to me again. Who's there?
My lord.
Does the boy?
He took good rest tonight. 'Tis hoped his sickness is discharged.
To see his nobleness, conceiving the dishonor of his mother, he straight declined, drooped, took it deeply, fastened and fixed the shame on it in himself, threw off his spirit, his appetite, his sleep, and downright languished. Leave me solely go. See how he fares. I no thought of him. Though the very thought of my revenge is that way, recoil upon me in himself too mighty, and in his parties, his alliance. Let him be until a time may serve. For present vengeance, take it on her. Camillo and Polixenes laugh at me, make their pastime at my sorrow. They should not laugh if I could reach them, nor shall she within my power. You must not enter!
Nay, rather, good my lords, be second to me. Fear you his tyrannous passion more, alas, than the queen's life? A gracious, innocent soul, more free than he is jealous?
That's enough.
Madam, he hath not slept tonight. Commanded none should come at him.
Not so hot, good sir. I come to bring him sleep. 'Tis such as you that creep like shadows by him and do sigh at each his needless heavings, as such as you. Nourish the cause of his awakening. I do come with words as medical as true, honest as either to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
What noise there, ho?
No noise, my lord, but needful conference about some gossips for your highness.
Away with that audacious lady! Antigonus, I charged thee that she should not come about me. I knew she would.
I told her so, my lord. On your displeasure's peril and on mine, she should not visit you.
What, canst thou not rule her?
From all dishonesty he can. In this, unless he take the course that you have done, commit me for committing honor, trust it, he shall not rule me.
Law you know, you hear. When she will take the rein, I let her run, and she'll not stumble.
Good my liege, I come, and I beseech you hear me who profess myself your loyal servant, your physician, your most obedient counselor, yet that dares less appear so in comforting your evils than such as most yours. I say, I come from your good queen.
Good queen!
Good queen, my lord. Good queen, I say, good queen. And would my combat make her good, so were I a man, the worst about you.
Force her hence.
Let him that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me, on mine own accord, all off, but first I'll do my errand. The good queen, for she is good, hath brought you forth a daughter. Here 'tis commends it to your blessing.
Mankind witch, hence with her out a door, a most intelligencing bawd.
Not so. I am as ignorant in that as you in so entitling me, and no less honest than you on that, which is enough. I'll warrant, as this world goes, to pass for honest.
Traitors! Will you not push her out? Give her the bastard, thou dotard! What, thou art woman-tied! Oh, tired, unroosted by the Dame Partlet here. Take up the bastard! Take it up, I say! Give it to thy crone!
Forever unvenerable be thy hands if thou takest up the princess by that forced baseness which he has put on it. Put
Oh,
upon
he
it.
dreads his wife. He dreads his wife.
That were past all doubt, you'd call your children yours.
A nest of traitors.
I am none by this good light.
Nor I, nor any, but one that's here, and that's himself. For he, the sacred honor of himself, his queens, his hopeful sons, his babes, his betrays to slander, who stings it sharper than the swords and will not. For, as the case now stands, it is a curse, he cannot be compelled onto it. Once remove the root of his opposition, which is rotten as ever oak or stone was sound.
A callet of boundless tongue, who late hath beat her husband, and now baits me. This brat is not of mine, it is the issue of Polixenes! Hence with it, and together with the dam commit them to the fire!
It is yours. And might we lay it the old proverb to your charge? So like you, 'tis the worst. Behold, my lords, although the print be little, the whole matter in copy of the father. Eye, nose, lip, the tricks of the frown, his forehead, nay, the valley, the pretty dimples of his chin and cheek, his smiles, the very mold and frame of hand, nail, finger, and thou, good goddess nature, with which hast made it, so like to him that got it. If thou hast the ordering of the mind too, amongst all colors, no yellow in it, lest she suspect, as he does, her children are not her husband's.
Oh, a gross hag! And Losel, thou art worthy to be hanged that will not stay her tongue.
Hang all the husbands that cannot do that feat. You'll leave yourself hardly one subject.
Once more take her hence.
Most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burnt!
I care not. It is an heretic that makes the fire, not she which burns it. I'll not call you tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusations than your own weak-hinged fantasy, something savors of tyranny, and will ignoble make you, ye scandalous to the world.
On your allegiance, out of the chamber with her. Were I a tyrant, what were her life? Where were her life? She dare not call me so if she didn't know me one. Away with her!
I pray you do not push me, I'll be gone. Look to your babe, my lord, 'tis yours. Jove sent her a better guiding spirit. What needs these hands? You that are thus so tender are his follies will never do him good, and not one of you. So, farewell. We are gone.
Thou, traitor, hast set on thy wife to this. My
It's okay.
Thou, traitor, hast set thy wife to this. My child, away with it! Even thou that hast a heart so tender o'er it, take it hence, and see it instantly consumed with fire. Even thou, and none but thou. Take it up straight. Within this hour bring me word 'tis done, and my good testimony, or I'll seize thy life, with what thou else callest thine. If thou refusest, and will encounter with my wrath, say so. The bastard brains with these proper hands shall I dash out. Go, fire, and for thou settlest on thy wife.
I did not, sir. These lords, my noble fellows, if they please, can clear me in it. Lords?
We can, my loyal liege. He is not guilty of her coming hither.
Your liars all.
Beseech, your highness, give us better credit. We have always truly served you, and beseech so to esteem us. And on our knees we beg, as recompense of our dear services past and to come, that you do change this purpose, which being so horrible, so bloody, must lead on to some foul issue. We all kneel.
I am a feather for which each wind that blows. Shall I live on to see this bastard kneel and call me father? Better burn it now than curse it then. But be it. Let it live. It shall not neither. You, sir, come you hither, you that have been so tenderly officious with Lady Marjorie, your midwife there to save this bastard's life, for 'tis a bastard, so sure as this beard's gray. What? Will you adventure to save this bastard's life?
Anything, my lord, that my ability may undergo and nobleness impose. At least thus much. Upon the little blood which I have left to save the innocent. Anything possible.
It shall be possible. Swear by this sword that thou wilt perform my bidding.
I will, my lord.
Mark, and perform it. Seest thou, for the fail of any point in it shall not only be death to thyself, but to thy lewd-tongued wife, whom for this time we pardon. We enjoin thee, as thou art liegeman to us, that thou carry this female bastard hence, and that thou bear it to some remote and desert place quite out of our dominions, and that there thou leave it without more mercy to its own protection in favor of the climate. As by strange fortune it came to us, I do in justice charge thee, on thy soul's peril and thy body's torture, that thou commend it strangely to some place where chance may nurse or end it. Take it up.
I swear to do this, though a present death had been more merciful. Come on thee, poor babe. Some powerful spirit instruct the kites and ravens to be thy nurses. Wolves and bears, they say, casting their savageness aside, have done like offices of pity. Sir, be prosperous in more than this deed does require, and blessing against this cruelty, fight on by thy side. Poor thing, condemned to loss.
No, I'll not rear another's issue.
Please, your highness, posts from those you sent to the oracle are come, an hour since. CLEOMENES and DION, being well arrived from Delphos, are both landed, hasting to thy court.
So please you, sir, their speed hath been beyond account.
23 days they have been absent. 'Tis good speed foretells the great Apollo suddenly will have the truth of this appear. Prepare you, lords, summon a session that we may arraign our most loyal lady, for as she hath been publicly accused, so shall she have a just and open trial. While she lives, my heart will be a burden to me. Leave me and think upon my bidding.
The climate's delicate, and the air most sweet. Fertile the isle,
The temple is much surpassing the common praise it bears.
I shall report, for most had caught me the celestial habits. Methinks I should term them, and the reverence of the grave wearers. Oh, the sacrifice, how ceremonious, solemn, and unearthly it, if of the, it was I, the offering.
But of all, the burst and ear-deafening voice of the oracle, kin to Jove's thunder, so surpassed my sense that I was nothing.
If the event of the journey prove as successful to the queen, oh, be it so. Has it been to us rare, pleasant, speedy? This time is worth the use on.
Great Apollo turned all the best. These proclamations so forcing falls upon Hermione I little like.
The violent carriage of it will clear or end the business when the oracle, thus by Apollo's great divine sealed up, shall the contents discover. Something rare, even then will rush to knowledge. Go, fresh horses, and gracious be the issue.
I'm sorry, Nicole. He said he wanted me to let you know to invite him.
The sessions, to our great grief we pronounce, even pushes against our heart. The party tried the daughter of a king, our wife, and one of us too much beloved. Let us be cleared of being tyrannous, since we shall openly proceed in justice, which shall have due course, even to the guilt or the purgation. Produce the prisoner.
It is His Highness's pleasure that the Queen appear in person here in court. Silence.
Read the indictment.
Hermione, Queen to the worthy Leontes, the King of Sicilia, thou art here accused and arraigned of high treason in committing adultery with Polixenes, King of Bohemia, and conspiring with Camillo to take away the life of our sovereign lord the king, thy royal husband, the pretense whereof being by circumstances partly laid open, thou, Hermione, contrary to the faith and allegiance of true subjects, didst counsel and aid them for their better safety to fly away by night.
Since what am I to say must be which that contradicts my accusation, and the testimony on my part no other but what comes from myself, it shall scarce boot me to say not guilty. Mine integrity, being counted falsehood, shall, as I express it, be so received. But thus, if powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then but innocence shall make false accusation blush and tyranny tremble at patience. You, my lord, best know whom least will seem to do so. My past life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true as I am now unhappy, which is more than history can pattern, though devised and played to take spectators. For behold me, a fellow of the royal bed, which owe a moiety of the throne, a great king's daughter, the mother to a hopeful prince, here standing to prate and talk for my life and honor for who please to come and hear. For life I prize it as I weigh grief, which I would spare. For honor 'tis a derivative from me to mine, and only that I stand for. I appeal to your own conscience, sir. Before Polixenes came to your court, how was in your grace, how merited to be so. Since he came, with what encounter so uncurrent, I have strained to appear thus. If one jot beyond the bound of honor, or in act or will that we inclining, hardened be the hearts of all men that hear me, and my nearest of kin cry fie upon my grave.
I never heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
That's true enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it.
More than mistress of which comes to me in my name of fault, I must not at all acknowledge. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess I loved him as an honor he required, with such a kind of love as might become a lady like me, with a love even such, so and no other as yourself commanded, which not to have done, I think, had been in me both disobedience and ingratitude to you and toward your friend, whose love had spoke, even since it could speak, from an infant freely that it was yours. Now for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, though it be dished for me to try how. All I know of it is that Camillo was an honest man, and why he left your court, the gods themselves, wotting no more than I, are ignorant.
You knew of his departure, as you know what you have undertaken to do in his absence.
Sir, you speak a language that I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you are past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth, which to deny concerns more than avails. For, as thy brat hath been cast out, like to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it, so thou shalt feel our justice, in whose earnest passage, easiest passage, look for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with I seek. To me can life be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I do give lost, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy and first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast the innocent milk in its most innocent mouth, haled out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet, with immodest hatred the childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place, in the open air, before I've got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed, but yet hear this, mistake me not. No life I prize it, not a straw but for mine honor, which I would free. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proof sleeping else but what your jealousies awake, I tell you 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
This your request is altogether just. Therefore, bring forth and, in Apollo's name, is the oracle.
The Emperor of Russia was my father. Oh, that he were alive and here beholding his daughter's trial, that he did see but the flatness of my misery, yet with eyes of pity, not revenge.
You here shall swear upon the sword of justice that you, CLEOMENES and DION, have been both at Delphos, and from thence have brought the sealed-up oracle by the hand delivered of great Apollo's priest, and that since then you have not dared to break the holy seal nor read the secrets in it.
All this we swear.
Leontes should break up the seals and read. Hermione is chaste, Polixenes blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant, his innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir if that which is lost be not found. Now blessed be the great Apollo.
Praised.
He has probably read truth as he is entering the room. Once again. Go ahead.
Break up the seals and read.
Now I've lost my place. Hermione is chaste, Polixenes blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant, his innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir if that which is lost be not found. Now blessed be the great Apollo.
Praised.
Hast thou read truth?
I, my lord, even so as it is here set down.
There is no truth at all in the oracle. The session shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord, the king.
What's the business?
Oh, sir, I shall be hated to report it. The prince, your son, with mere conceit and fear of the queen's speed, is gone.
How? Gone?
Is dead.
Apollo's angry. And the heavens themselves do strike at my injustice. Oh, how now there?
The news is mortal to the queen. Look down and see what death is doing.
Take her hence. Her heart is but o'ercharged. She will recover. I have too much believed my known suspicion. Beseech you tenderly apply to her some remedies for life. Oh, Apollo, pardon my great profaneness against thine oracle. I'll reconcile me to Polixenes, new woo my queen, recall the good Camillo, whom I proclaim a man of truth, of mercy, for being transported by my jealousies to bloody thoughts and to revenge. I chose Camillo for the minister to poison my friend Polixenes, which had been done, but that the good mind of Camillo tardied my swift command, though I with death and with reward did threaten and encourage him, not doing it and being done. He, most humane and filled with honor, to my kingly guest unclasped my practice, quit his fortunes here, which you knew great, and to the hazard of all uncertainties himself commended, no richer than his honor. How he glisters through my rust, and how his piety do my deeds make the blacker.
Woe the wild. Oh, cut my lace, lest my heart cracking it break too.
What fit is this, good lady?
What stupid torments tyrant has for me? What wheels, racks, fires, what flaying, boiling, or oil in leads or oils? What old or newer torture must I receive, whose every word deserves to taste thy most worst, thy tyranny, together working with thy jealousies, fancies too weak for boys, too green and idle for girls of 9. Oh, think what they have done. And then run mad indeed, stark mad, for all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it. That thou betrayest Polixenes 'twas nothing. That did but show thee of a fool, inconstant and damnable, ungrateful, nor was much. Thou wouldst have poisoned good Camillo's honor, to have him kill a king, poor trespass. More monstrous standing by whereof I reckon. The casting forth to crows thy baby daughter, to be or none or little, though a devil would have shed water out of fire or done it. Nor is directly laid to the death of the young prince, whose honorable thoughts high for one so tender cleft the heart, that could conceive a gross and foolish sire, blemish his gracious dam. This is not, no, laid to thy answer. But the last, O lords, when I have said, cry, woe, the queen, the sweet, dearest creatures, dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet.
The higher powers forbid.
I say she's dead, I'll swear it. If word nor oath prevail it, go and see. If you can bring tincture or luster in her lip, her eye, heat outwardly or breath within, I'll serve you as I would do the gods. But oh, thou tyrant, do not repent these things, for they are heavier than all thy woes can stir.
Therefore betake thee to nothing but despair. 1,000 knees, 10,000 years together, naked, fasting upon a barren mountain, still, winter and storm perpetual, could not move the gods to look that way thou wert.
Go on, go on. Thou canst not speak too much. I have deserved all tongues to talk in their bitterest.
Say no more. However the business goes, you have made fault in the boldness of your speech.
I'm sorry for it. All faults I make when I shall come to know them, I do repent. Alas, I have showed too much the rashness of a woman. He is touched with a noble heart. What's gone and what's past help should be past grief. Do not receive affliction at my petition. I beseech you, sir, beseech you, rather let me be punished that have minded you of what you should forget. Now, good my liege, sir, royal sir, forgive me, a foolish woman. The love I bore your queen, lo, full again. I'll speak of her no more, nor of your children. I'll not remember you of my own lord, who is lost too. Take your patience to you, and I'll say nothing.
Thou didst speak but well when most the truth, which I receive much better than to be pitied of thee. Prithee, bring me to the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be both. Upon them shall the causes of their death appear. Upon our shame perpetual. Once a day I'll visit the chapel where they lie, and tears shed there shall be my recreation. So long as nature will bear up with this exercise, so long I daily vow to use it. Come and lead me to these sorrows.
Thou art perfect then. Our ship hath touched upon the deserts of Bohemia.
I, my lord, and fear we have landed in ill time. The skies look grimly and threaten pleasant blusters. In my conscience, the heavens with that we have in hand are angry. Frown upon us.
Their sacred wills be done. Go, get aboard. Look to thy bark. I'll not be long before I call upon thee.
Make your best haste and go not too far in the land. 'Tis like to be loud weather. Besides, this place is famous for the creatures of prey that keep upon us.
Go thou away. I'll follow instantly.
I am glad at heart to be rid of the business.
Come, poor babe. I have heard, but not believed. The spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for never was dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow, so filled and so becoming. In pure white robes, like very sanctity, she did approach my cabin where I lay, thrice bowed before me, and gasping to begin some speech, her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent anon, did this break from her. Good Antigonus, since fate, against thy better disposition, hath made by thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine oath, places remote enough are in Bohemia. There weep, and leave it crying. and for the babe is lost forever, Perdita I call it. For this ungentle business put on thee by my lord, thou never shalt see thy wife, Paulina, more. And so with shrieks she melted into air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself, and thought this was so-and-so slumber. Dreams are toys, yet for this once, yea, superstitiously, I shall be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polixenes, it should there be laid, either for life or death upon the earth of its right father. Blossom, speed thee well, there lie, and there thy character, there these, which may, if fortune please, both breed thee pretty, and still rest thine. The storm begins. Poor wretch, for by thy mother's fault thou wast exposed to loss, and what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds, and most accursed am I to be by thy oath enjoined this. Farewell. Thy day frowns more and more. Thou'rt like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heavens so dim by day. A savage clamor. Well may I get aboard. This is the chase. I am gone forever.
I would there were no age between 10 and 3 and 20, or that youth would sleep out the rest. For there's nothing in between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancientry, stealing, fighting. Hark you now, would any but these boiled brains of 19 and 22 hunt in this weather? They've scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will sooner find than my master. Well, if anywhere I have them, 'tis by the seaside browsing of ivy. Good luck, and be thy will. Oh, what have we here? Oh, mercy once, a bairn. Oh, a very pretty bairn. A boy or a child, I wonder. Oh, a pretty one, oh, a very pretty one. Oh, sure some scape. Though I'm not bookish, yet I can read gentlemen. I can read waiting gentlewomen in the scape. This has been some stair work, some trunk work, some behind the door work. They were warmer that got this than the poor thing is here. Well, I'll take it up for pity. Yet I'll tarry till my son come. He hallooed, but even now. Whoa! Ho, ho!
Hello! Lo!
What, art so near? Oh, if thou'lt see a thing to talk on when thou art dead and rotten, come hither. What ails thou, man?
I have seen 2 such sights, by sea and by land. But I am not to say it is a sea, for it is now the sky. Betwixt the firmament and it, you cannot thrust a bodkin's point.
Oh boy, how is it?
I would you did but see how it chafes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore. But that's not the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls. Sometimes to see him and not to see him. Now the ship boring the moon with her mainmast, and anon swallowed with yeast and froth as you'd thrust a cork into a hogshead. And then for the land service, to see how the bear tore out his shoulder bone, how he cried to me for help, and he said his name is Antigonus, a nobleman. But to make an end of the ship, to see how the sea flap-dragoned it. But first, how the poor souls roared and the sea mocked them, and how the poor gentleman roared and the bear mocked him, both roaring louder than the sea or weather.
Name of mercy, when was this, boy?
Now. I have not winked since I saw these sights. The men are not yet cold under water, nor the bear hath dined on the gentleman. He's at it now.
Oh, would I had been by to have helped the old man.
I would you had been by the ship's side to have helped her. There your charity would have lacked footing.
Oh, heavy matters. Heavy matters. Oh, but look here, boy. Now, bless thyself. Thou metst with things dying, I with things newborn. Here's a sight for thee. Look thee, a bearing cloth for a squire's child. Oh, look thee here. Take up, boy, take up. Oped. So let's see. It was told me I should be rich by the fairies. This is some changeling. Opened. What's within, boy?
You're a made old man. If the sins of your youth are forgiven you, you're well to be alive. You're well to live. Gold. All gold.
This is very gold, boy, and 'twill prove so. Up with it. Keep it close. Home the next way. We're lucky, boy, and to be so still requires nothing but secrecy. Let my sheep go. Come, good boy, the next way home.
Go you the next way with your findings. I'll go see if the bear be gone from the gentleman, and how much he hath eaten. They are never cursed but when they are hungry. If there be any of him left, I'll bury it.
That's a good deed. If thou mayst discern by that which is left of him what he is, fetch me to the side of him.
Marry will I, and you shall help to put him in the ground.
'Tis a lucky day, boy, and we'll do good deeds on't.
Yay!